Thanks for coming out. Gorgeous day. Just want to thank everybody, especially the personnel guys this weekend. All the work that goes into this roster cut down to 53. I can't tell you how much work that is going on behind the scenes, all the hours and hours of studying. And it's not just for the weekend. It's not just for, getting to 53, establishing your practice squad. It's really establishing the whole landscape for what the whole season is going to look like. And just really, really thankful to the way Nolan and Trent and Willie and Matt Berry, everybody, the way everything was organized and all the work that went into it. And thankful for the coaching staff staying up late last night when we chipped up some guys to check out and everything after they had worked all day working on Denver stuff. But and then obviously the players, thankful to the players that came back, decided to come back and be on our practice squad. And very thankful, especially the players that, put all the hard work throughout the off season and aren't with us right now. They know that, they're welcome to come back here and they need to be ready when they're called upon. And yeah, just excited to get going. Really, just really impressed with Coach Mike and his staff, the communication, the clarity of what they want, the intent that's put into everything. It's been an amazing training camp to see, and we're just excited to get going. Happy for the guys that are here, but as you guys know, as y'all know, it's a long process. We're building this thing all year, so with that, like my friend Andy Reid says, the time is yours. Except he says it in a much cooler manner than I do. Yeah.
You've been working with Coach Macdonald for about 7 months now. What have you learned about him in this time?
Yeah. Like I said, probably intent, clarity. Knows exactly what he wants. Humble knows what he doesn't know, and knows what he wants and knows how to attack it. And everybody's still learning each other. 7 months really feels like, maybe a month. The time's gone really fast. So, just really impressed with the teaching that's going on here. And like I said, the one thing that really stands out, everybody's asked me, what would you say about this coach or that coach? With Mike, I would say clarity and there's an intent to everything that we're doing.
Journey. What has it been like from going back to January and every step along the way to now have this roster somewhat finalized and be full steam ahead to actually seeing some regular season games?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, it really truly feels like we just, like Arizona just missed that field goal and we win the game down there, and we've just had our head going the whole time. And now you look up and here we are, and getting ready to play Denver already. It's been an everyday grind, but it's been fun, and everybody's had a great time with it. There's been a lot of great communication going on. It's been cool to see other coaches come from different clubs. We talk about no walls and constant communication, and it's okay to go into everybody's offices and talk and work things out, and we've been doing that since 2010.
John, you should have won Executive of the Year a couple times already.
I'm going to answer the question, homie.
How do you compare this first offseason where you hired coaches as well as the talent you brought in, and how much better do you think the team is now than it was a year ago?
Than a year ago? That's hard to tell because, especially after, appreciate the kind words, by the way, but especially after this, I say this last weekend, but it's really been like all of camp, but I know today's Wednesday, but it feels like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday when you're, putting this team, like the final part of putting the team together. So it's hard to say, like, okay, is this team more talented in this area, that area? Because the way we approach it is you're looking at all these players, all these teams, and trying to figure out what everybody else is doing so that you know how to adjust, whether it's in October, late November, late January, making sure you have enough depth on your practice squad. We talk about 69 players, not 53 or 48, and then really truly we'll have we want 100 players. Like we want 100 guys like that we can count on. So we'll have a ton of players through. We probably bring about 125, 130 players through here a year to get physical, spend time with the coaches so that they're ready to go. But to say, this team's better than that team, it's too early. It's too hard to do. And I don't have clarity on that after watching everything we've watched the last several days.
Was grabbing Travis, was that anticipation of not having Chenna for a little bit?
Yes.
How long did you anticipate?
We tried signing him a couple times, so I was giving him grief though. I was like, hey man, you can't make a choice to go somewhere else now because we actually traded for you this time. So we signed papers and stuff, so you're coming.
Chenna's not on IR, obviously. Is
Nope.
that a sign that he'll be back in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, it's if you guys have spent time with Chenna, this is a pro now. Like the guy attacks a day. You want every professional football player to attack it. He's a man now, and he's gonna do everything he can to get back.
Do you think that IR is still a possibility there, or are you thinking he'll be back?
Not right now. Yeah.
He'll be back by week 1, John.
I don't know that. Too early for that. Yeah. I mean, he's made progress. It's an injury that kind of have to take day by day, really.
How do you feel about your inside linebacking spot? Kind of the whole position there, and obviously you kind of Radigan getting away.
Yeah, with good for Johnny. Going to Carolina. We have a bunch of coaches that know him really well. Obviously, being there. Drake just came off, the PUP, and he's been doing a great job. He's really attacked his rehab, so he's done a really nice job. Real smart, instinctive player. Yeah, we like the group. We like the group. We're going to keep, just like every position, we're going to keep working it. And, there's not 4 guys. It should be 6 to 8 to 10. Same thing with defensive line, 6 to 8 to, you can never have enough guys. We're not doing our job if we just say, okay, we got, there's 4 guys and here we go.
And you feel okay that Jerome Baker, that he'll be ready?
Yeah, he's practicing. Yeah.
After looking at the preseason,
Abe started QB.
Yeah.
What's his status and prognosis moving forward?
Yeah, we're going to play the long game with him and make sure we're doing things appropriately. Like this is for his career. It's not just for the 2024 season. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing by Abe and which also is the right thing for the Seattle Seahawks. And we have to be careful with it. Sam and David Strickland and those guys have a great plan for him, and we'll keep working that plan. And it has nothing to do with Abe's work ethic or anything. He's attacked this thing as much as he possibly can. So it's just where we are right now.
What do you have? What do you get prepared?
Right. No, Greg, I'm not going to get into specifics with it.
after looking at the preseason that Gino had and Sam had for making a first impression.
I'm sorry, Gino, what?
Just what's your assessment of how confident you are in your QB room given the preseason that Gino and Sam both had there?
Yeah, I thought Gino looked amazing, and all the practices and everything, and he got banged up there a little bit for that week, and but Sam's done a great job coming in, learning a new offense. You got to remember, this is like learning a whole new language for these guys. It's a hard deal for. It's the hardest job in football. Period.
You kept 11 offensive linemen, which is probably more than
Sure.
You've done, but obviously you kept all the rookies. Kind of a sign that you like all those guys and wanted to keep them.
Yeah, we thought about 12. That's just the landscape with the National Football League looks like. Not just the National Football League, it's college football. It's we've talked about this before too, right, Bob? It's not a position of great depth, and you need a group. You need a whole group of guys working as one, and so you need to continue to just keep trying to figure out. I think there's several teams that kept 11, maybe 12. I think there's a couple teams that kept 22 on both sides of the ball, the interior, and then you figure out your back end later, and you'll see much more roster movement over the next several days as people kind of get settled and get ready for the deadline's really kind of like next Tuesday at 1.
Hey, John, last time Seahawks developed a Pro Bowl offensive lineman was 2010. Only 2 All-Pros in the last 26 years. Talk about why it's hard to draft and develop offensive linemen.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's probably that working as one, and everybody's got to be functioning. So you have to the guys next to you have to be on top of their game as well. It's a position where it's a mentality position. It's a unit. It's a group. It's not. Usually you can see guys that are like Pro Bowl players, difference makers, and they might be the only real talented guy in the group. So it's really it's a position that's you have to have a specific skill set. You have to have a specific mentality. You have to be coached, a specific way. But then you also have to be able to work together. And so I think it takes time, and you have to have that continuity. It's rare to have that continuity. When we were in Green Bay, we were blessed to have 5 guys that played together for 10 years, and then 3 of them developed and became 3 or 4 of them kind of became Pro Bowl caliber players. So it's a function of the whole group.
At what point did Conor Williams become a viable option for you, and when did you know he could play this year?
It was the spring, Greg, before we. I'm sorry, not the spring. It was kind of OTA, so mid-June, and when you hear messages from agents, that their player's doing great and he's gonna be ready to play, and they're coming off significant injuries. You have to evaluate the agent as well, and we have a great relationship with his agent, so we trusted it, and we jumped in as quickly as we could and tried to get in line. And Conor's a very talented player. Obviously worked his tail off to get back, and so I'd say mid-June, and then credit to Willie Schneider, he just kept sticking with it and calling every week, just grinding on his agent and Drew and making sure that we were still going to have the opportunity to visit him first. And he came in and had a great workout, great visit. Went through all the testing with us, and we figured out where he was, and then we probably had maybe 2-3 weeks in there where we worked with him to try to get right and come on in. He got close to signing with 2 other clubs, and we just stuck with it.
You had to come back at him again?
Sorry?
Because he had offers from other clubs, did you have to come back to him again with another one?
We didn't have to come back. We were just, we negotiated for sure, but we were kind of with him the whole time.
What do you like about Conor's game, John?
Oh, quickness, intelligence. He's played up and down the line of scrimmage. Played outside in college, and moving inside to play center. We had projected him. Matt Berry really liked him as a center. He's like, man, this guy's gonna be a phenomenal center. But again, with those numbers, offensive tackles, it's hard. There's a lack of depth at the position. So he was drafted to play tackle. He went and played, and then Matt was always like, if we could ever play him at center, he'd be a great guy. And Miami ended up doing with him. And I would say the quickness, intelligence, leadership, toughness, getting second level, his movement stuff is, you can see him on screens and stuff out running in space, and he's just got a really cool spatial awareness to him when he's out there, and he's a really good athlete for his size.
From what you guys have seen, how expectant are you that he'll be able to go for you next week?
We don't know that yet. I think that's going to be up to Mike and the coaching staff and the offensive coaches and Sam and Strick, and see how everybody feels about it. He's doing whatever we can to get ready.
Do you have any concern that Abe Lucas wouldn't play this year?
I don't. No. I think we're just being as cautious as we possibly can.
Other you guys, Cam Young and Jared Reed, how are they progressing, and when do you think they might be able to come back to you eventually?
Yeah, all 3 of them are doing great. Yeah, they're all busting their tails to get ready, and they'll be in a window that we're gonna get, unfortunately, we're gonna get banged up throughout the season, and these are 3 extremely talented guys to kind of have ready at a later date in the season to be able to go to if need be, and hopefully when they're ready to rip, we can do it. But it depends on what your depth looks like at a certain time of the year, right? So it's not like, hey, they're ready to go and you just rock it. You have to be patient.
Rayshon Jenkins is the other injury.
Sorry.
Rayshon Jenkins, how's he doing?
He's doing well. Yeah, he's doing well. He was out running this morning. I think everybody feels good about where he's at. He's made progress, but whether or not he's able to go, we don't know that yet.
What did Jalen Sindel? What did he kind of sign late? And he has like number 53. How did you guys kind of find him, and how does he kind of?
Yeah, we drafted him late. He worked out at Ohio State. He was a guy that was going to be a rookie free agent. But once he went to the Ohio State workout, he had a phenomenal workout, and our coaches did a great job of spending time with him and getting to know the person and the football intelligence, and understanding how far he had to come. And he came in, and it hasn't been too big for him. He had a big learning curve, and the coaches have done a great job of just taking it step by step with him. Brick by brick, if you will, Dave. They refer to it as, So that's a Niner joke right there.
You mentioned Mike has a lot of clarity with what he wants.
Yes.
Can you expand on that a little bit? Is it just he knew early on decisively with character traits or skills with certain guys where maybe you would have been surprised as the youngest NFL head coach that he knows so much of what he wants?
It's not necessarily from a personnel standpoint. It's just what he thinks about player personnel. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah. No, he knows what he wants. He knows that, but he knows the personnel side of it. But also just understanding what he wants out of certain positions schematically, working through the issues that go on behind closed doors every day that head coaches just aren't. I'm sorry, assistant coaches aren't exposed to usually, and so for him to come in and understand what certain situations look like and understand it and be able to work with him and make quick decisions and what we feel are correct decisions. It's there's just a clarity to it. That's the best way I can describe it.
John, Mike has said a couple times that your relationship or chemistry and the reputation you had, that the people recommending you, was a big part of why he chose to come here. What advice would you give a new GM to kind of build that kind of reputation across the league?
Honestly, I think starting with Pete, that's a great question. I think when Pete and I got together in 2010, to Pete's credit, he was like, "Hey, we're going to make this the best marriage in the National Football League." And I always knew after getting fired with the Redskins, when I was working with hand in hand with Coach Schottenheimer, I was like, okay, I know the next time this happens, I can't screw this up. So I had been fired, Pete had been fired. We knew exactly how we had to try to handle things, and that's putting your ego aside and just doing the right thing by the club every day, every hour. There's nothing it's not like I'm smarter than you, you're smarter than me. We're just going to work hand in hand and try to get better every single day. And I think that's, I think if there's advice to other general managers, is really the ego part of it and just being yourself and not trying to. I learned a lot from Ron Wolf and Ted Thompson and Carl Peterson and these people, these big name guys that I work for, but I'm not those guys. And you have to just be yourself and kind of be understanding and have a lot of empathy with your partner, because like Pete said, I mean, it truly is a marriage. You spend a ton of time together. You're making decisions all the time. You're kind of in a constant negotiation. Like, am I doing the dishes? Are you doing the dishes? Are you drying? You washing? You drying? Like, I got the garbage. You know what I mean? It's it truly is like that. It's every day. So, yeah, you have to keep working every single day, on your relationship.
Mike Macdonald's a complete opposite for you. Where areas have you had to step in and help him or show him?
What do you mean he's the complete opposite?
Youngest in the NFL, first time in the job. You've been in the job now 14 years.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's opposite. I mean, I think there's a middle ground. He's younger. Yeah.
What I asked was, what areas have you had to help him through being a head coach? Responsibilities beyond a coordinator level, each is a scheme and design and things like that.
I think just being there for him, hey, this is what I've experienced in the past. This is what Coach Holmgren's staff looked like. This is what Coach Schottenheimer's staff was like. This is what Pete's staff was like. These are the issues that may pop up. These are the things that you need to nip in the bud right away. And then just being there, just being able to listen to him and then be able to just use yeah, you did just make me feel old, Greg. Shoot, dang. Yeah, just be able to listen to him and try to assist him in there's certain things that he maybe feel like he can't share with people, and he can share it with me, and we can help work things out together.
What does it say about Mike Macdonald and Leslie Frazier? He's really just to be seen and taken. What does that say about him?
Yeah, I mean, Les is awesome, right? Tons of experience, and Super Bowl Shuffle and all that stuff. I think he was in the Super Bowl Shuffle, wasn't he? Yeah, yeah. But that was a joke. Like, you're not like, I don't get anything from you. Like, I mean, is that a funny? Like, no. Yeah, I just think Mike's a great listener. He really is. He's just got that, like, he could take the information in and make decisions, and it's been really impressive to watch. And he's like I said, he's like a very direct communicator. You give me the information, I got it. I'm gonna take it over here, and I'm gonna have the conversation, and we're gonna move on.
John, there was a report that Geno's can't broach the new contract talk with you. Was that accurate?
Yeah. Like broach the new contract. I think I'll leave contract stuff aside. There's a lot of people that want contract extensions, and I'm not gonna get into like specifics of who they are and all that, but that's part of the job. I mean, it happens every year, all the time.
Is it accurate to say you guys discussed the new contract?
No.
Is there commonality with the rookies that are on your 53-man roster? There's 8 of them, but is there commonality? I mean, that relates to what Mike Macdonald like, kind of smart, are they, without going to each.
Yeah, great question. Going into each of them, yeah, that's a great question. I would say the commonality would just be that going through the process with the coaches for the first time, with this new group, with this new staff, they were really bought into the guys they wanted, So it was like, hey, okay, cool, like we're gonna draft this guy, we're all in, we're gonna ride with this player, and that's like I would say that for all of them.
Back to your offensive line, John, just with the new pieces you have there, and coach and Scott up, what do you think the outlook is for that position as a whole?
Oh, I think it's going to be a work in progress, but we like the guys, we like the group, like Scott, Scott and Coach Nugent, those guys do a great job working in tandem with everybody, with the whole group. It's a lot of guys, it's a big group to work with, and so yeah, we like the group, but it's. Again, there's like moving pieces in there, like so many left tackles completely different than a right tackle, and left, the guards, we have the 3 centers right now, so yeah, there's a lot going on there. The different types, the different styles within that position it's always a challenge for coaches to be able to place those guys.
Artie Burns, it looked bad on Saturday when he was carted off, but he's totally fine, or is he, what happened?
Yeah, he got banged up a little bit today at practice, but he responded, so I'm not. It's some sort of toe thing going on, but it's not. It didn't appear to be that bad.
And one more. Did the
those are painful. You were like, I smashed mine at San Diego State like 10 years ago, and I still feel it.
Did the new kickoff rule change anything with how you put the team together? Did you feel ultimately like it changed much with the roster construction?
Not really. No. You can have bigger people playing on kick return. There's not as much space, so maybe bigger guys playing back there that you may not have in the past. Like maybe bigger than linebacker bodies.
Challenging was player acquisition when you had 3 new systems. You didn't have experience fitting the players into.
Yeah, I think. It was challenging, but to have them spend as much time with the guys as they did, on the Zoom calls and phone calls, meetings, the 30 visits. You're talking all throughout the offseason, right? Yeah, exactly, Greg. Yeah, that's it was really important that those guys, spent time with them and they were comfortable with the learning and the person.
John, it seems like this might be as deep a secondary group as you guys have had in a while. Do you agree with that? And what's your kind of outlook for that class?
It's a really fun group. There's no question. Like they all have a ton of juice about them, and we love that group. And we're just trying to figure out, how we again, how we, who's the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th guy in that group. So we'll continue to do that and try to place those guys in our practice squad.
Do you have a third quarterback you're bringing in?
Not yet. Yes. I mean, maybe PJ may be back. I'm not sure. We're still working through a lot of that stuff.
John, all pro players, best players of the position, usually are what determine Super Bowls. Are there some players on this roster that you think are ready to take that step?
Yeah, I do. Yep. I do.
DK Metcalf and Reek Woolen look like they really took a big step. Are those two guys that have the potential to reach that level?
Yeah, Reek was injured last year. He had a bad knee injury in the offseason, so he was kind of behind the 8 ball all year. DK has always been dominant, in my opinion.
Anything else? Thanks, John.
Okay, appreciate you guys.